Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Captain's Draft 3.0. We're here with group number 2. We've got our second series in this group. The first day, Digital Chaos versus Alliance. This is an awesome best of 3, and I'm pumped to see how these teams square off. Of course, we've got Resolution playing with Digital Chaos, the newest addition to their team, and all 5 members of Alliance ready to rock and roll. I'm Zyori, joined again by Purge, and we've got Pimp Knuckle at the helm on OBS as well as production. Purge, my man, awesome series to get us started. How you feeling coming into our second series here?
Pretty good. I'm still utterly confused about the Cleave interaction with Guardian Angel because I got like 8 tweets and like 4 people were adamant that it worked a different way than each other. So I'm still trying to figure this out. But I'm excited. I'm excited to watch this game as well. Alliance versus DC should be a good showing. I think the real question is how much Alliance wins by. I think DC could definitely win this. I think they look really strong with Resolution. They've been playing really well in the last week. And I would love to see them take it to a top EU team because I think that would potentially stop a lot of discussions about which region is better. Although DC does now have 1 EU player on them, but I think that's kind of irrelevant. I think both teams have the potential to win the set, and I'm excited to see how they draft.
Yeah, 1 EU, I think you're still very clearly a North American team. They have 2 Canadian players, so even saying American team is a little bit misleading, but anyway, enough about that. Let's look at this draft here. What do we got in store for us, Purge? Looks like not that many carries here. Looking at this agility pool, a lot of them have been banned out. I mean, we got TA. Void's been more of the offlaner. That's kinda...
Wraith King.
We've got
TA.
OD.
Yeah, OD is a good call. I think Digital Chaos would very likely pick that in some later stages. Probably not in the first round. Start off with Avenge support, completely standard. There could hypothetically be a support lifestealer. We've seen a lot of 4-position lifestealer in Captain's Draft just because it's kind of hard to deal with and it's very easy to fit into your strategy.
Right.
Oh, Leshrac carry. Could be a Leshrac carry as well.
Oh, yeah.
Lesh OD, TA, OD. I already said OD.
OD, there he is, picked up. First pick, OD. OD Faceless Void for Alliance.
So tiny as well.
Pretty good opener. You know, what happened to Tusk? I mean, did he get, like, stealth nerfed or something? He's been passed up in a couple of games now that I've seen.
I think teams have just gotten to the point where, like, Tusk was especially good before because he could mess up the creep equilibrium in the offlane. But now you don't care about that as much. You can just get an Iron Talon on literally any hero and go farm the large camp. So I think that's part of it, is that Tusk doesn't need to rely on his ability to get experience. He can now just... they can just pick a different hero that is maybe better team fighting. Plus, there's been a lot of dual lanes, and Tusk, while he's good, if he gets behind, he becomes a much weaker hero than a lot of offlane heroes. He's more of a burst damage or an initiator hero or a roam hero. Those are his strengths. Late game is not really his strength unless he's doing really well.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, last series, we talked about Visage a little bit. Not surprised to see him banned out, as Lil is a notorious Visage player. But, hey, DC have one also. Aoi 2000, very well known for his Visage play, his ability to get a lot of farm, micro around. And they grab the Abaddon here. So a lot of flexibility with these 3 heroes for Digital Chaos. Typically, you would think of as supports, but... You know, a mid-Visage isn't the craziest thing in the world. We've seen position 1 Venge, and, you know, we've seen Abaddon played as an offlaner just as much as a support, if not more. So this trio of heroes, I think, gives them a huge amount of flexibility with how they want to set up their lanes.
Yeah, they can do a lot of different things. They have pretty good minus armor and physical damage output right now. They would love to have a Drow in DC, I think. But I don't think they're going to be able to snag that. They're a bit lacking on stuns, so I feel like killing Faceless Void this game might be a little hard for them. They might need a solution against that. I think a Nyx is definitely up the alley of DC here. Stuns to deal with Faceless Void. Mana Burn against OD would be pretty solid. Plus with the CM in the pool, I feel like that hero could be really punished.
I think DC is going to bring back the Bulba Tinker. I think they're going to go throwback.
Definitely not this game. I mean, he's usually their Abaddon player. They're already kind of limited, and they can't really pick Nyx as well because they'd have to Venge carry. It'd be the only way they could make it work.
Yeah, you're right.
So they're kind of limited on picks. Kunkka is picked up by Alliance though, so they've got really good roaming. They've got extremely good team fight. They can do Chronosphere into boat. Like, that alone is amazing damage output. So
I like the idea of just having CM Kunkka. I mean, Frostbite can set up for him to get some torrents going on. He has mana issues, so just the natural regen that she provides. A lot of synergy there.
Yeah, there really is a lot of synergy there. They can roam, set up some kills for OD. I still see... Okay, the DC is just going to pick 5 supports. That's what's happened in this game, guys. Could be mid Disruptor, but more likely it's going to... God, I don't even know. This is... Alright, mid TA, farming Visage. They might aggro Trilane with like a bad and safe or something. I have no idea how DC is going to lane this. This is crazy. They could lane it so many different ways, but surely they'll put TA. I think maybe they'll put TA versus Faces Void or something like that. Is that the solution?
It might be. I mean, that would at least secure her some pretty easy farm early on. And this is a core Lesh here for Lions, so you did call that one right.
So mid Lesh, I guess.
Yeah, well, mid Lesh, safe lane OD with Bulldog in the off lane.
Because the Lotus playing OD, I don't know. These lanes could actually go anywhere. Because Alliance also has to predict where DC is going to go, but DC has so many supports and they have so many different roles. Yawar is playing Venge, so it's a carry Venge for sure. So it's probably going to be Venge Disruptor, Visage, Trilane. I feel like they probably should play that aggressive, especially because it's against an OD, and OD is a bit weak. And then it's Kunkka is the other support, so they actually have a very weak Trilane. They'll have Frostbite, but that's about it. I'm sorry, they'll have Torrent, but that's all Kunkka's really going to provide. So I feel like they can definitely punish what Alliance has.
That could work out really well. I mean, TA can definitely put a lot of pressure on Leshrac and handle herself in that lane. And then in the 1v1 of Void versus a Baden, that should be pretty good for Bulba. He should be able to get a lot out of that lane. Kind of similar to what we saw in Game 3 of the last series with that Omni Knight versus Void lane, where the Omni Knight can just kind of bully him a little bit because he has more sustainability.
Yeah, they have way more aggressive potential, but it's still going to come down to the first couple early fights. Ake is going to put an interesting high ground ward here. See this ward right here? This is actually a uranium. It's a tower in Gem TD. Happy to see Ake using this. It's been a while.
That's an interesting ward spot though. Early on, and oh, he gets glimpsed too. He's going to head for the Roche pit, but it's a 5-on-1. And that ward will cost Ake his life in a first blood. Resolution gets the last hit.
Yeah, and they know it's there now too. That's the scary part. Because there's no other reason that he would be so deep. I mean, it's a cool ward to have placed this early if you're expecting your opponents to aggressively Trilane. Because it'll probably see them rotating between the offlane and mid. But them getting that ward and getting the first blood, that's a big loss. And they're giving AOI the solo experience. So he's going to be almost at level 2 here.
Yeah, that is a good start for DC. Close to a dream start in this scenario.
And they had used Glimpse.
At least one bounty rune.
It was so early that it's going to be off cooldown by the time the game starts anyways. So
yeah, you're right.
All around, really good there for DC.
Yeah.
Who got that first blood?
It was the TA.
Okay.
Better.
That's really good. Start the game with a bounty rune and a bottle. This is the case. This is what happens normally when you feed the enemy mid a first blood is that your mid player is going to start flaming your team like, thanks guys, I have to play against a bounty rune, bottle first blood, enemy mid hero. So
yeah. Well,
but I think S4 is even killed enough. He can deal with the morale.
Yeah, to try and compensate, they will keep some supports nearby. Ake with the dark-haired Crystal Maiden, which I still can't get used to. Up top, though, we're going to hold that thought about cosmetics as Bulldog in a little bit of trouble. He's only got level 1 time walk, obviously. It's a 24-second cooldown. Is there a glimpse from Theban?
It's a little... He's got boots. He can get it.
Got boots. Maybe he can grab him. There it is. The glimpse back. And Void still isn't going to have a time walk for another 10 seconds. This should be another kill for DC. And already this tri-lane nets a kill. Very nice.
That's what happens when you get 3 supports for a tri-lane, man. It has so much kill power. It's really good at that. And Venge is still going to translate pretty well as a carry. It's not amazing versus OD, I would say, because OD should outrange Venge a little bit. And as well, they're going to have to worry about Chronosphere. But Bulldog's back. But will he die again?
They're going to wrap around. He's got a time walk, but this time 1437. He's positioned in the front, so even if he time walks, he'll still be able to glimpse him. Of course, Bulldog knows this. He might still be able to get back. He lives. Oh, glimpse is still on cooldown. Good call. 20 seconds. Yeah. Whoops. I forgot how long it is at level 1.
Yeah, it's really long. If it was lower, it'd be so OP.
My bad. Yeah, you're right. That's just striking from the record.
So S4 doing the mid against ATA. A bit of a weird matchup here, but if you split Earth correctly, you can actually farm decently while still harassing your opponent a bit.
Look at this. Bulldog and 1437 just playing with each other in the jungle here, running around. This is weird. Was that a potential wraparound gank that Bulldog just caught? Oh, he blocks him out.
All right,
now Ake's rotating over.
He doesn't know what to do now because he knows he can't get out here.
Oh, man. Now he's going to try to run for it. Bulldog still going to try to block him out. Glimpse to get him out of the way, but the Frostbite from Ake is going to interrupt it.
That was such a good play. I think the only solution there, I don't know if he had Glimpse up when Bulldog first time walked, but he needed to time walk him, or he needed to glimpse him within 4 seconds. That was the only way he gets out there. So that was pretty cool play. That's he was trying to basically mess with Bulldog's ability to take the large camp and decrease his experience gain since he was pressured so hard, but Bulldog outplays him and he gets an easy kill.
Yeah. Well, they get one up on the scoreboard, so that's good stuff for Alliance. Checking in on this mid lane, how are things faring here? Looks like pretty even spread. Resolution with a small advantage, but S4 doing just fine, especially considering that extra gold that Resolution started with. I feel like this is not so bad for S4.
A little bit of lightning last hits as well. Yeah, S4's gonna be pretty happy. Plus he's got the CM aura, so he's getting extra mana. By the 3-minute mark, that's a total of like, what, 2 extra spells or something like that, so that can really add up.
Yeah. I feel like CM was just not meant to have dark hair. I can't get over it.
It definitely looks a little weird, but that's okay.
Like when I look at the hero, my first thought is, wait, who's that hero? I don't recognize it instantly. I go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. You also don't see the cosmetic that often. It's a pretty rare one.
You know, this CM might not actually be able to kill the Centaur. Ake made a slight mistake by not pulling this out more. Because there's 2 magic resistance auras here.
Oh yeah, you're right. Huh. That's harsh.
He will eventually kill the camp though. It's going to be okay.
This is one of the big benefits of the CM, that she can make use of the jungle here, stack it up, and get some nice solo XP level 3 already.
And he goes for the 2 levels in Arcane Aura, because he's just going to power farm here. If there's nobody in the offlane, it's better for him just to farm. So it makes a lot of sense, unless he's ganking mid. But ganking mid is going to be a little tough.
Yeah.
They could maybe kill Resolution, but he's going to need at least a Dust. And ideally, Leshrac would have level 6 that he can amplify, or basically get a ton of damage for low mana out of his ult.
Both offlaners are struggling here. Bulba's left the lane. He spent some time in the jungle. He managed to get level 3. He's picked up the Iron Talon. So a few more levels, and this will be not too bad for the Abaddon. He can recover a little bit easier, a little more easily than the Void, at least in like this early game part, in like the next 5 minutes or so.
The next problem, though, is that Kunkka's getting a lot of levels out of this because of it. If you're not in lane, then that support doesn't have to spend time zoning you, so he's going to be able to pull at a pretty good efficiency. Now, he doesn't have a lot of last hits because he's a melee hero, and melee heroes can't get as many last hits when pulling. But a level 3 Kunkka is already in the danger zone for ganking and roaming across the map. So if he shows up mid, for example, with the CM, that's definitely a TA kill. So they have to be a little bit careful about this.
Yeah, and he's getting... Level 3 has 2 points and X marks the spot, so getting that kind of mini disruptor ability with the X to try and catch anybody that steps too far forward. Good stuff. Get that extra range going. Scales really well.
Just checking to see if Bulba is hiding in the trees. He's not. They do have a Basilius up. It's a nice early item if the offlaner does leave the lane, since you can buff up the armor of your creeps, but Lotus is just denying the crap out of this wave. He's got a ton of CS here.
Yeah. 31 and 5, number 1, mid lane. We can see a kill here. S4 taking some damage, but he's dishing it right back. That Pulse Nova doing a lot of work as he sips the bottle. He's able to keep it up, and that's a nice solo kill for the Lesh in the mid lane.
That skill is so good, man.
My god.
20 mana per second, it does 100 damage per second. Like, you basically turn it on this early, and it just stays on for the rest of the game, pretty much. And he gets an easy kill against Resolution there.
Yeah, that's great. The S score was pretty even, so that has definitely tipped the scales now to go in favor of this Radiant side. Good start for Alliance now. Well, it was a really good start for DC, like before the creep spawned, but Alliance are doing pretty well with these lanes.
And they're super ready for a kill mid, but they do see the Crystal Maiden over here. So Resolution is going to play like he doesn't know there's a hero there, but he's also going to be in lane. And it's important to do this because it means that CM might stay around longer, which is going to overall decrease the efficiency of his opponents. And in the meantime, he's rotating heroes over. AOI is coming, as is 1437.
See the Kunkka nearby. AUI needs to be very careful. X marks the spot, will come down. Resolution on the low ground, trying to do what damage he can, but Lesh just cuts through that refraction so quickly. Resolution gets completely obliterated by S4.
This is not good.
EGM on the high ground. They're doing so much damage just all around. 1437 AUR going to get taken out by S4. That is all Pulse Nova all day, baby. Triple kill for S4 on the GOAT, man.
You can't fight Leshrac this early if you don't kill him instantly. You have to kill him, otherwise it's not worth it. Because he's just going to chase you down. He had a haste rune as well. They should recognize he's got a haste rune, he's a Leshrac. He's going to run us down if we don't execute this gank perfectly, and it just wasn't going to work.
Uh-oh, Abaddon now caught by the X. He's not yet level 6, so no borrowed time. Huge burst damage. The level 7 Leshrac, now 8, will find the kill with one more auto attack. 6-2, Alliance getting some huge momentum here. 5-0. S4 on the Lesh at the 7-minute mark.
That's a really bad sign. Like, this here is worse than he was before, but with this many levels now, he's
still
way ahead
snowball.
Resolution. Like, he can easily solo kill Resolution, especially with Eyeball Edict levels in a second tier.
Choose through the refraction even faster. So, Bulldog, the only one who's off to a slow start for Alliance, but I feel like they're making up for it in other parts of the map, especially with their 2 big cores. Loda's just been pretty uncontested. It looks like he'll go for the Rod of Atos, first item. Vitality booster already up, just sitting on brown boots.
It's a really good item to have. It's very good versus TA as well. If TA is ever engaging, you just slow her, and then she basically stands around and everyone walks away. It's pretty straightforward. So if he gets this up fast, I think DC's just kind of screwed in mid-game teamfights. They're going to have to get a lot of kills out of their lanes now to catch up to what just happened in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 3K net worth experience and experience lead for Alliance already. And we've talked about it a lot. DC have a very heavy support lineup. So TA, kind of their late game ticket, they need to do a lot in this early and mid game. And being this far behind this early on, definitely not a good sign. I think it's pretty obvious that Alliance have the edge if we go like, 45 minutes plus or something like that.
Yeah. 1437 is level 3 here, but he's not even close to 6. Like, it's a really bad position to be as a support. I'm surprised they don't have more levels on him. And now Alliance is shifting to top lane to fight. So Lesh is 8, and he's got another haste rune. Are you kidding me?
Oh, S4 living up to his reputation. They're going to find Aoi 2000. This is an easy dive. Visage not even 6, so no stuns from the birds. Tries the Grave Shield to get away, but easy kill there for Ake. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Yawar rotates down, swap onto Loda, hits him with a stun. Bulba is now level 6. They'll have some damage to dish out. Astral used on the bench to buy him some time, but now S4, he rotates down, and they're ready to fight. They've still got the ultimate from OD. Sanity's Eclipse could be used here. Bulba's ult was deployed, so now he's going to be squishy. They just get obliterated by the OD's ult. Oh, man. Lesh gets credit for the kill on the Venge, and Bulba dies to the wrath of the loader. Now Resolution comes in. Refraction just gets destroyed. S4 doing huge damage. Still reasonably topped off. AOI TP's in. Dies before he can even cast any spells. And all the while, Bulldog just gets a free tier 1 tower in the top lane. DC are kind of crumbling here. We're only 9 minutes in, but this is disastrous.
Kind of is an understatement, man. They had a very good start of the game, but the way that they tried to deal with the Leshek was just so poor. Like, they saw that Resolution was getting crushed mid. He was getting roamed on a little bit, so they rotated heroes over, but the way they engaged that fight was so bad that it just allowed Alliance to completely snowball over them, and they've just been rotating and team fighting better. DC is playing like tilted reactionary style right now. They're like showing up to lanes and things and saying like, oh, I gotta help because we're losing, but they're not doing it in ways that are going to get them kills, and it's completely giving Alliance the rest of the game.
Yeah. The inventories are starting to show a difference here. The Atos is out for OD, and looks like Lesh, probably just a Bloodstone for S4. He's got the point booster. Great item to grab on the Lesh rack earlier on just to get some extra stats going your way. But there is definitely a difference, especially in the supports. The bottom 3 on net worth, all on the side of DC. Dicks and brown boots. That seems to be standard issue on the side of Digital Chaos.
Oh, they spotted TA. They've got the other cores smoked here. They just need Bulldog to come into this lane. All right, he's TP.
Nice X onto Resolution. They're going to catch him under the tower. That'll be the end of his refraction straight away. Bulldog with a chrono on 2. Completely breaks at the fight. Isolates Resolution. Boat comes across. TA dies first. Bulba will go into his ultimate. The boat does proc the borrowed time. They'll just Astral him, though. Yawar gets chased down by S4. No way to get away from the Pulse Nova. And now Bulba comes out of the Astral. And they've got the damage. It's 4-0 in the bottom lane. S4's godlike at 10 minutes. 9-0-4. Level 10.
This is not good for DC fans. Somewhere in Arizona, Suns fan is weeping in his room.
This is... Now, it's one thing to watch your team lose, but this is brutal. 14-2.
Like,
Boyd, thinking about it? 1437? Just trying to play Ring Around the Rosie? No? Okay.
Let's see, he gets crazy bashes. I mean, here comes the TP. I think
Okay.
they might get their first kill here.
Glimpse back. He does have the time walk.
They don't have a stun,
down.
he could just TP.
Gonna have another
he
time walk
doesn't
in
have
about
a
3
TP.
seconds. Resolution's here. And Bulldog make the great escape. Time dilation used.
I think he's gonna live.
They're just gonna let him go. Okay.
The dilation really wrecked Tia. It's very good against her because she usually wants pretty low cooldowns, but if you use up her spells, then she's going to be attacking and running very slow.
Yeah. Here we go. EGM and Bulldog coming in from the secret shop. They see Resolution, X, Boat, Torrent, everything else under the sun. TA gets evaporated.
This is a painful game for DC, man. There's even a Midas up on Crystal Maiden now, so they're way far ahead. They're going to transition all of their heroes' items.
Right now, CM's net worth is slightly ahead of that of TA. That's how much Ake's gotten out of the jungle here.
It's a really bad sign if your 4 position is more farmed than the enemy mid, but they stomped all the lanes so hard. And it all came down to that middle fight. They basically took all of their farmed heroes and they threw them into Leshrac and died. They even TP'd the carry to mid and he died. They TP'd the Leshrac to mid and he died. or I'm sorry, the resolution died there. All of their supports basically just died.
Yep. They
And
died
if you
to
do
the
that,
Lich.
the game just ends basically, because Alliance isn't going to drop this, and they're still being so good on their aggressiveness. They're doing smoke ganks, they're doing engagements. They're not just sitting back and farming and letting DC catch up. They're pushing their huge advantage that they have, and they're not going to let up until the game ends.
S4's got a 13-minute Bloodstone on the way, so that's good. And, you know, Rod of Atos, it's a great item on OD just in general. It gives him everything he needs. But when you're this far ahead, the cripple really lives up to its name. That slow really hurts. There's just no getting away from this team. And it synergizes really well with the Lesh also. Makes him able to close the gap, get lightning. And you see the setup here. I mean, what does Resolution do? X, Torrent, Chrono, my god. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, S4 just TP's back. They get a double here on the Visage and Venge. They even kill one of the birds to boot. Meanwhile, back in the bottom lane, EGM on side of the kinetic field. Static Storm doing some pretty good damage. They will get a kill there. Bulldog getting low, but Bulba gets destroyed by the ult from Loda. The Sanity's Eclipse has more than enough damage. The Visage Bird flying overhead, trying to give some intel. Loda pretty far deep, but oh, look who's joined the party. It's S4, and he's brought the guacamole. That's the GG. 13 minutes. Alliance make quick work of Digital Chaos. My gosh, what a performance.
That was like the most one-sided game I've seen in a very long time, but it all came down to that mid-fight where they just fed S4 repeatedly. They didn't quite engage that right. Their heroes they're hard to win early engagements with. If you have a Visage and you have a Disruptor, those heroes aren't as reliable as stunning and attacking heroes like the kind that Alliance had. Their heroes were much better in the early game, and DC just didn't engage that correctly. They had to get a kill. They had to all focus on one guy, and they weren't together, and it forced TA to go out of position, and then it just became the Leshrac show. Haste Rune with Pulse Nova kills everybody.
Yeah, S4 getting back-to-back haste runes before the 10-minute mark. That was also fun to observe. Probably not so fun for DC, but the reputation continues. I don't know what it is with that man in haste runes, but he certainly got a disproportionate share of them in that short match.
They didn't even have time to collect fantasy points. This game was so fast. Like, S4's got 9.4. He deserves like 16 for that one, but
yeah,
damn,
that's true.
Game just ends instantly.
All right, well, that's game one. This is a best of three, folks, so we will have game two coming up. We'll see if DC can straighten up and take us into an ace match, or if Alliance will just take a quick best of three series. You are watching Captain's Draft 3.0. I'm Zyori, he's Purge, and we've got Pimp Muckle doing the obs and production. Thank you so much for joining us here on moonducktv. If you've been enjoying the coverage so far, make sure you follow the Twitch stream. Give us a follow on all the social media. The VODs are promptly uploaded onto youtube.com/moonducktv. That's where you can find all of our social media. So give us a follow. Much love. Thanks for joining us, and stick around because there's more Dota 2 coming up next.